A lovely and a warm welcome to the news on Hope Channel Zambia television that changes lives. You are catching us live on channel number 450 on the Top Star decoder, and we are also on channel number 25 on the Movie TV bouquet. Our live stream is on Facebook and YouTube, the name Hope Channel Zambia. Let's take a look at stories making headlines in our news today. President Hakainde Hichilema denounces support for gay rights. The 2022 bribe payers index indicates minimal reduction in bribes among public officers. Eastern Province Education Officer demands demotion of non-performing school head teachers. Southern Zambia Union Conference President Dr. Vani Munyumbwe says local congregations are key in implementing mission initiatives of the church. And Midlands West Zambia Conference trains subsistence farmers in livestock management. These and more stories coming up shortly. Don't go away.
My wife, bumper harvest. Eh? I'm telling you.
Your new fertilizer. Ni amazing. Hello. My instructions.
I went to ETG, and now we are enjoying the benefits of using a blended D-compound fertilizer as basil and Kalimukwa as top dressing fertilizer instead of urea that we used last year. Now look here. This year, it has given me 4 tons. 4 tons! But last year, it was only 1.8 tons. Kalimukwa has given all my crops the nitrogen that I paid for. Wow. It has saved me money.
Understanding the difference between soil and crop-specific fertilizers, there been lies strength for Kalimukwa blended fertilizers. More value in a bag. Available in the ETG depots countrywide, with a network providing agronomy services to farmers across the country. Kalimukwa. Enhanced efficiency through innovation. A product of ETG.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Bright SINKOZI with the details. My sign language interpreter is George Kalimukwa. The details. President Hakainde Hichilema says his administration does not support gay rights as opposed to what many are insinuating. The president said he as an individual does not support homosexuality, a position he says his party, the United Party for National Development, UPND, equally does not support. Mr. Hichilema says Zambia has adequate laws which do not support homosexuality and that there would be no shift in that regard ever. A few weeks ago, social media was awash with anger after the Sister Foundation protested in support of homosexuality in a public campaign. Meanwhile, President Hichilema has called on youths to use social media prudently by avoiding spreading falsehood. President Hichilema was speaking in Chingola on the Copper Belt today when he addressed the clergy from across the Copper Belt.
This country, as President FTJ Chiluba declared, shall remain a Christian country. This country has decided long time ago, and it shall be going forward. We as a population, we as a political party, we or parties, we as individuals, including myself, we do not support gay and lesbian. Let's preach what we believe in. Also, these things come from our houses. Let's preach it in the houses. Let's help that soul.
We continue with the news. A 21-year-old Kapembwa Kasongolo of Lusaka's Meanwood in Chamba Valley has been missing since Saturday last week after a visit to his auntie's place in Matero constituency's Landa compound. Innocent Kasongolo, father to the missing Kapembwa, has told Hope News in an interview that his son left home to visit his auntie and that after some days he would go back home, but since then he has been missing. Mr. Kasongole says his failure to return home raised concerns, which led the family to inquire of his whereabouts from his colleagues he conducts online business with, who also confirmed the same concerns of his unavailability online since last Saturday. The Kasongole family has since reported the matter to Matero Police Station and remain in positive hope that their son will return home safe and sound.
My name is Innocent Kasongole, and the man we are talking about, the young man we are talking about is Kapembwa Kasongole, my son. Last week he came to visit my sister's place in Matero, Yolanda Shadrick's area, and he stayed there for about 3 days. On Friday, he actually asked to leave so that he can come home. I stay in Minwood, Chamba Valley. So he said his fare was at my auntie's place and started coming over. When he was coming, my sister sent him 100 kwacha to buy rice and a message, which he responded, "You come after 2 days." Upon Saturday coming, my sister called to say she wanted to change what she wanted to buy. So instead of buying rice, she said, "Let him not buy rice, let him just buy meal." But I said he is not here, and that was the beginning of a suspicion that he's not on both houses, my sister's place or my place too. The phone is off. WhatsApp, where they do that online business, there is no response which is coming, and it's showing like it's been deleted. The police station, we came to ask for a permit that the friend said maybe we check in the hospitals in case he was bashed or something, because when he's bashed, they take all the phones and everything. So maybe we check in the hospital. So we came to make a confirmation, and they've given us advice that try to go to UTH police, because anything of that nature is referred to UTH. So don't go to any police, any hospitals. Yes, if there is anybody that knows this gentleman, or maybe they've done business with them, we've put some mobile numbers on social media platforms. My phone number is 0972 991895. I also have MTN. Maybe some people can also reach me on 0967 464217.
The 2022 Zambia Bribe Payers Index has indicated minimal reduction in bribes to public officers. The index has also revealed that the Ministry of Health received the highest bribes in 2022, followed by the Road Development Agency, RDA, while the Zambia Police Traffic Section has shown a decrease in bribes and corruption. And Secretary to the Cabinet, Patrick Kangwa, says the decrease is a manifestation of government's efforts in the fight against corruption, such as the rollout of Integrity Committee in both government and private institutions. He was speaking when he launched the 2022 Zambia Bribe Payers Index at Taj Pamozi Hotel in Lusaka.
The Zambia Bribe Payers Index, Transparency International Zambia, and Corruption Commission jointly conducted a survey report that provides an empirical measurement of bribery incidences in government departments and parastatals in Zambia. Secretary to the Cabinet, Patrick Kangwa, has said government is committed to ensure that corruption in procurement is reduced.
With regard to corruption in public procurement, government is committed to ensuring that corruption in public procurement is eliminated. In order to achieve this, several interventions are being implemented. Among these interventions include the following. 1. Government introduced the Electronic Government Procurement System, EGP, to streamline the tendering process and reduce bureaucracy in public procurement. This also reduces human interface in the procurement of goods and services and subsequently curtail corruption.
NCC has disclosed that members of the public are encouraged to report corruption to the Commission.
We are concerned that most people do not report corruption when they see it happening, especially in the public service. Oftentimes, these reports only come when the perpetrators of corruption are removed from office. The Commission notes that fear of reprisal is a big impediment to reporting corruption by potential whistleblowers, and efforts are being made to strengthen the Whistleblowers Act. Nonetheless, the Commission will provide necessary confidentiality to every individual who reports to the Commission of any act of corruption. I therefore, on behalf of the Commission, wish to encourage people, the general public, to report corruption to the incidents of corruption to the Commission, because we will follow up every report that is made to us.
TIZ has noted with sadness that Zambia Police has been consistent in accepting bribes.
The issue around the Zambia Police, and particularly I'm picking the Zambia Police because we've been in partnership with the Zambia Police, Transparency International Zambia Anti-Corruption Commission since I think 2012. And there are things that have happened. In as much as they still get distinctions in terms of corruption, I think let's commend them. They are also getting distinctions in terms of their efforts to counter corruption in their institution.
Mebo Chitimbiti, reporting for Hope News in Lusaka.
Now, Eastern Province Education Officer Brainley Malambo has directed Education Board secretaries in the province to demote all non-performing head teachers. Mr. Malambo says all non-performing head teachers need to be demoted with immediate effect, adding that he is not going to allow any transfers for these school head teachers to other schools. He says Eastern Province would only continue to produce better results when school administrators were disciplined and demonstrated passion in what they do. We have details in this report.
He is in Sinda district to interact with the teachers on how best education can influence learners. His message to the teachers is loud and clear from non-performing school administrators in Eastern Province. Eastern Province Education Officer Brainley Malambo has directed education board secretaries in the province to demote non-performing head teachers if the province is to continue producing good results. Mr. Malambo said this at Chasa Boys Secondary School during the Sinda District Education Review meeting for 2022.
If somebody consistently gives us an area of us, quickly demote, and if you hear, let me know. I will not demote them. They are always getting out of demote. So that when you demote, you bring me probably this translated teacher will become a little and I
Meanwhile, Mr. Malambo has approved the teachers in Sinda district for producing good results in both grade 9 and 12 in 2022.
Sinda is not one of my biggest issues at all. In terms of infrastructure, in terms of challenges, Sinda is the best. When teachers are questions that are not going to talk about. But because there is a purpose, you have stood up and told everybody, we shall conquer the country, and you have done it. You are great examples models. You are great examples to Zambian community. Despite all these challenges, your results are best. Keep it up. Not just even when you are sent to places where there are challenges, you can still be seen by government provided you have.
Sinda District Commissioner David Tembo called on teachers to realign themselves with government policies.
And this education system can be improved to the teachers and the government, everyone which to give. Colleagues, in my own as I take my position, I want to encourage you teachers to teach my opportunity because it's not a opportunity for the first time. Realign yourself with the government policies. Realign yourself with the government policies. You are not the officers of government, you are implementers of government policies. You are the government yourself. Opposing to the government is simply opposing to yourself. As a district commissioner, I would glad to work with positive minds because of positive minds. Allow me to take this opportunity to take a serious again to appreciate the teacher these teachers together with the teachers. You are indeed putting in your best in your district. The milestone that was scored last year by being around the first at the 11 level and the 12 level is unprecedented. It's something that cannot be ignored.
And Sinda District Town Council Secretary John Machai, who was represented by Sinda Town Council Treasurer Lukeria Mwanza, says the council has handed over the newly constructed classroom block to the Ministry of Education.
Ministry of Education through the local authorities has been able to access the city office of government and have so far constructed and rehabilitated classroom blocks, staff office, doorways, and dormitories as well as procure desks.
Sinda District Education Board Secretary Feston Ntonga said the district will continue striving to produce good results.
Our district, our aspiration is to be the cradle of academic excellence in the province. We want as much as possible to do the best that we can so that we provide quality education to the masses of Sinda so that the government mandate of providing education to these people should be made and made considerably well.
The challenge remains with head teachers to prove if they are fit for the position they are holding. Sambo David, Sinda District, Eastern Province.
And ladies, welcome. Institutions of higher education leaves much to be desired, as indecent dressing is the talk of the day. He has attributed this behavior to lack of proper role models and lack of sensitization. Mr. Mwanza has since urged individual churches and government to work together in fighting this bad vice of inappropriate dressing that is seemingly destroying the cultural belief system of the country. He said cultural and Christian values of the country should be protected at all costs, unlike turning to Western countries for guidance.
I think there are two aspects or two challenges attached to it. So the first one, it's either those kids or children or young people in the colleges, universities and secondary schools have no what we call the local or internal role models. So these are role models who they can copy their cultures, their dressing, their food, even the eating habits from. And unfortunately, if this is not happening internally, you will find that our children or our scholars are borrowing much more to do with what is foreign. And so immediately you are borrowing too much of the cultures from the foreign or too much of the intelligence from the foreign, you discover that our young people are not actually dressing according to the way our cultures, our values demand. Our kids of today don't want long clothes. Sorry to mention to you that actually a lady, when we were growing up, had more than 3 garments before their skin. And this was simple, so that they don't expose their inner parts. But what we have seen today is that our children want to expose their bodies so that they are able to sell, because they believe that marketing must be visible. But you don't market your body. You don't market yourself like you are selling fritters or you are selling that. And so unfortunately with ours, they've borrowed so much of what is foreign, and unfortunately this has created a fight. And so this fight which has been created can only be fought by you, myself, and all those well-meaning Zambians. We have lost it, completely lost it. Don't even apologize. We have no role models in the young people. We have no young people who actually are able to stand up and be able to say, yes, I'll protect my culture, I'll protect my tradition. Most of them are able to worship foreign artists. So we need to get back to these institutions and be able to challenge them, that secondary schools, colleges, churches and all these other areas, we need to go there and remind them that as Zambians we have a belonging, we have a history, and that history must be protected by ourselves.
We take a break. More stories on the other side. Do stay with us.
Announcement from the Zambia Adventist Publishing House. We have moved to a new location. We wish to inform our esteemed customers that we have moved to a new location. Our new address is plot number 9221, corner of Independence Avenue and Bama Roads, on Lusaka Conference premises. This move is part of our ongoing effort to better serve our customers and provide a more convenient shopping experience. Please note that our phone numbers, email addresses and websites will remain the same. Our office hours will also remain the same. We are grateful for your continued business and look forward to welcoming you to our new location. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact us on 0973 714242 or 0978 447469.
Thank you so much for still staying with us. And now for the rest of the news, we turn our focus to religious matters. Southern Zambia Union Conference President Dr. Vani Munyombwe says local congregations are vital in the running of the church. Dr. Munyombwe says ignoring the importance of the local organ in the bigger organization of the church would be a disservice to the entire church, hence the need to interact with local church leaders at all times. He says in as much as the church would boast of over 22 million members globally, there is nothing that beats time spent with local church leaders, which he described as time well spent. Dr. Munyombwe said the local congregation is the one, is the one that implements all mission initiatives of the church and as such, the church should value the local members across. He was speaking in an interview with Hope News on the sidelines of the church governance seminar in Woodlands Conference held last Sabbath at the Arakan Barracks Army Chapel in Lusaka. And Woodlands Conference President Dr. Daniel Junga said church board members across the conference were invited to share the strategic plan of the church running up to 2025.
Local church leaders of Woodland Conference together with their pastors and all their church officers. Every time that we spend together with our local church leaders is a time well spent, because even if currently Seventh-day Adventist Church has a membership of 22 million globally, each one of those members reside in a local congregation. So the Seventh-day Adventist Church is run, it is supported, and the mission initiatives are implemented by church members who are led by local church leaders. So this afternoon we are here to simply clarify the direction of the church in the areas of mission, in the areas of how to make sure that our members are growing spiritually, and also sharpen our local leaders. In the end, when people join a local congregation, it is because they are hoping that through the fellowship of the church, they are going to grow. And so we were here to try and make sure that local congregations are effective at nurturing people and also training them to do mission in their local settings. Thank you. We are here where we came together from far and near, all the way from Ruangwa, Lusaka to Kafue, where we came to share the strategic direction of the Seventh-day Adventist Church here in Southern Zambia Union Conference. Our Union President, Dr. Munyumbe, came through to share issues that can help build the church. Our strategic direction was basically mission, spiritual growth, and also we are basically looking at the issues of leadership. So our church board members came in number, and we have shared the strategic direction up to 2025.
The Stewardship Department in Midlands West Zambia Conference last week trained more than 1,200 subsistence farmers from Central Province in livestock management. The one-week-long training attracted farmers from both the church and the community with the aim of educating rural communities on practical and effective livestock management in order to reduce mortality rate, increase yield, and turn livestock into a money spinning activity. Conference Stewardship Director Pastor Samakai Kahangu said that the training program will continue and will focus mainly on management of chickens, goats, sheep, and cattle. In order to give meaning to the training, the church, through its veterinary team, donated an assortment of animal medicine to the farmers and demonstrated how it was to be administered. Brent Jobola has more in this report.
The significance played by livestock in rural livelihoods cannot be overemphasized. They are a crucial asset for many households. However, keeping them healthy and alive requires intervention of a trained veterinarian. On this ground, the Stewardship Ministries of Midlands West Zambia Conference has trained more than 1,200 farmers in livestock management in Central Province of Zambia.
So before you use Musamu, you shake well. You shake well. So I'm going to take it that almost 450 or 460. So meaning 375 meals plus 40 meals. Plus 40 meals, that's what? So, so there are many reasons, small ones.
So
I got a 6, no problem.
Ragapa 7 meals.
We have come up with an initiative as a conference, and we are deliberate in the sense that as we promote spiritual growth, we also are promoting personal development. We want to see to it that as members are succeeding in their spiritual endeavors, we want to see them succeed in their personal endeavors as well. And so to do that and achieve that, we have come up with several initiatives to try and empower our members with knowledge on how best they can develop their lives. And so for this whole week, for about 6 days, we have visited 6 different districts from Mumbwa all the way this region up to here Chiombo, where we are today, where we are teaching members matters to do with livestock. So this one we have focused on chickens, we have focused on goats and sheep, we have also focused on cattle.
This is the time when the diseases are around, as you have seen. As you had seen there, we were demonstrating even how to inject, how to give dewormers, how to prevent the chickens. We are on the ground and God is blessing his people.
Among the beneficiaries of this initiative was a member of the Salvation Army Church.
So I've learned how to cook my chicken so that the chickens can benefit me and my family. So for that, I really appreciate for your program and our support.
Brent Sobola, Hope News, Central Province.
And finally, on our news, there was a child dedication program that was held at Eden University Adventist congregation, where a number of children were dedicated to the Lord. Let's take a look at what happened.
"Don't come to me" is a prominent saying Jesus is emphasizing to parents and custodians of children. Eden University SDA Church spent time to dedicate children to God in a colorful service. Eden University Church Pastor Paul Miller, as well as leaders present, were excited to officiate the event.
Child dedication is a time when parents present their children in the hands of the Lord to be blessed, and so that the Lord may help them. As families, they have got a duty to nurture and admonish their children in the ways of the Lord, and so they place them in the hands of the Lord that gave them, so that together they can partner with the Lord to ensure that the children grow in the fear of the Lord, and so much that they can become productive both in the church and in society. And so Eden University today celebrated 11 children that were given in the hands of the Lord in this ceremony, the child dedication. And so we are happy to receive them, and we are happy to partner with the parents, that together them and the church and our Lord can join forces to ensure that these kids are raised in the will of the Lord.
Sunday School Department, we are very happy. The women's just started our year. We know children are a gift from the Lord. We are very thankful to the parents that brought the children to be dedicated.
Parents and guardians present could not hide their excitement.
I'm glad that my child has been dedicated to the Lord. I pray that God will help him to grow spiritually. May he grow up to be a good boy.
I'm glad
dedicated to the Lord.
The best thing every parent can do in this perilous and moral degradation dispensation is to dedicate their children back to their Maker, Jesus Christ. Reporting for Hope Channel News, Lina Blessing Chatambuza.
That item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, let's recap on stories that made headlines. President Hakainde Hichilema denounces support for gay rights. The 2022 bribe payers index indicates minimal reduction in bribes among public officers. Eastern Province Education Officer demands demotion of non-performing school head teachers. Southern Zambia Union Conference President Dr. Vani Munyumbwe says the local congregation is key in implementing mission initiatives of the church. And the Midlands West Zambia Conference has trained 1,200 subsistence farmers in livestock management. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Bright SINKOZI on behalf of the entire studio and production team, not forgetting our correspondents across the country. On sign language, we had George Kalimukwa. God bless and bye for now. Here is an employment opportunity. Hope Channel Zambia is owned and operated by the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Zambia. The organization started with the mission of sharing with all about Jesus Christ and the three angels' message. Hope Channel Zambia is now seeking the services of a highly motivated and qualified individual to join our team of skilled professionals in the capacity of driver. Responsibilities: transporting the crew in the field and back to the office, carrying out vehicle maintenance checks, collecting mail from the post office, arranging for vehicle repairs whenever necessary. Driver requirements: a valid Class C driver's license, 2 years driving experience with traceable reference, excellent organizational and time management skills, good communication skills, must be a Seventh-day Adventist church member and should be staying near Hope Channel Zambia offices. Other competences: able to interact with colleagues in a professional manner, be ready to work at night and over the weekends. To apply, send your CV to ask@hcz.adventist.org with a clear subject marked, for example, Manda Mumba, applying for the driver position. Closing date for application is 24th March 2023 at 17 hours.
Hello guys, guess what? I'm a registered company delegate. So this thing will be very memorable and exciting because the activities that will be taking place are actually linked to academic career pathway. such as artificial intelligence, computers, mechanics and obstacles, and so on. The Campori will be in April, and the theme will be anchored in Christ. And you know the other exciting thing about it? There will be courses such as gardening, fishing, and poetry.
Some of the activities they will be under obstacles. Some they will be under survival skills. Some also they will be under fun. Apart from all these things which will happen, the registration is only 120 kwacha. And our deadline will close on 31st of March 2023. If your child has not yet registered, take this opportunity now to register, and so that we can have more pathfinders in this Campori at EMAS.
The venue where I'm standing is a venue for Campori 2023 at Emmanuel Seventh-day Adventist Church, which is seated for a land of about 250 hectares. 5 kilometers from Chisamba is a boarding school for girls and the boys.
Our speakers are as follows. We have Pastor Ivan Gwatringa, the SID Youth Director, who will come and be our speaker. We also have Pastor Angel Chipuru coming from Northern Zambia Union Conference as one of our speakers. Those are our speakers. Thank you.
And this thing will help you be personal, economically independent. Okay guys, see you there.
everyone and welcome to Let's Cook. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a delicious curry with some of our legumes over here. Our lovely lentils, the brown lentil curry. We are going to be using many delicious ingredients and some seeds. But before we go into that, I'd like to start off with my rice. So I'm going to be showing you how to make a lemon rice. It's always nice to have a bit of variety when we do our rices, not always the same mundane dishes. Right, so for this dish, I'm going to pop in some mustard seeds. And with mustard seeds, you don't have to put any oil in. You really just want the heat to make them, to allow them to pop and for the oils to be released to help to create a beautiful flavor. While that is starting to warm up, over here I have my rice. I've got 2 cups of rice in here, and I'm going to use some turmeric. Turmeric, as we know, has lots of anti-inflammatory and medicinal qualities, so it's excellent to use. I've got some lemon juice in here and also some lemon rind. I'm sure that a number of you have heard of this. This is the, or seen it, or perhaps experienced it, used it in your kitchen. This is the lovely, authentic curry leaf. Smells really good and tastes really nice. I like to use this in my traditional curries because once the oils are released, the flavor is really incredible. Let's see how our seeds are going. It's just beginning to really warm and glisten in the pot. And now I'm going to start I'd like to add some coconut oil. Can you hear it begin to pop? They roll around as they begin to pop. Of course, it's a bit difficult for you to see. They pop in lovely. So now I'm going to add just a little bit of coconut oil, enough to cover the surface of the pot. Can you hear the popping? And to that, I'm now going to add my rice. I like the rice to be put in at the beginning so that the oils can actually coat the rice. Once the rice kernels are very nicely coated and evenly coated, I'll turn down my plate. And now I'm going to put in some turmeric. You don't want to put too much turmeric in, even though it's very good for you, because sometimes it can end up having a bitter taste or a bitter flavor if you use too much. So I'm using a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. And to that, I'm also going to add a teaspoon of salt. Coat it through. There we have it. You'll notice that the kernels are beautifully coated and are glistening from the oil. Now, just before I add my water, I'm going to add a few curry leaves. Everything is about flavor. And if we can make wholesome meals, vegetarian, full flavored meals, how lovely! So you stir this until the oils start being released from the curry leaves. And then you turn it down slightly. So now I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. Because you want it to have the lemon flavor, as well as a little bit of the lemon rind, which I just simply grated off the lemon. And now my water. I average 1 cup of rice to 1 3/4 cups of water. So depending on how large your family is, that is, you would make your rice in quantities accordingly. 1 cup of rice to 1 3/4 cups of water. I find that sometimes if we use 2 cups of water, it just makes the rice slightly too soggy, especially when you want your water to be absorbed by the rice. If you have a look there, you can see the rice, the water just covers the rice. So what I do is I will allow the water to come to the boil now. Once it has come to the boil, then I will turn it down and cover it so that the water and all the flavors can be infused into the rice. It's coming to the boil nicely. I will just give it one more stir to make sure that nothing is sticking at the bottom of the pot. Right, and now I will cover that and turn it down. Very good. In my wok, look, you can use any utensil to make this, but I've decided to use my wok to make my curry. You know, making curries is really quite subjective. There are many, many ways to make curries, and there are many styles, and there are many cultures who make their curries in different ways. So, really, it must be what you are comfortable with. For my curry right now, as you can see, I'm busy warming my pot. I've got some seeds here. I've got my coriander seeds. I've got my cumin seeds. I've got some fennel seeds, which are excellent in aiding digestion and also extremely anti-inflammatory. Over here, I have my star anise. When you bite into this, it actually produces an oil. And this oil that is released is more like a licorice flavor. Very lovely indeed. This has excellent properties for high blood pressure, for insulin problems. So most of our seeds and our spices that we use for curry really are very, very healthy for us. Our cinnamon sticks helps to, as you know, cinnamon helps to slow down the rate of insulin, helps with nerves, helps with cognitive issues. So our cinnamon is so healthy for us. It's nice to actually put some of it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, and notice that my pot is getting quite hot. I'm going to add some coconut oil. Now some people start off with butters, but I would prefer to start off with some coconut oil because this is the healthier option for us to be using instead of our oils that have been heated. Right, so in goes, I don't need too much cinnamon, but I like that just to toast. Right, now I'm going to add my onions to the pot. Now some people like their onions very softly braised. I don't particularly like it like that. I like it to still have a bit of a crunch. Of course, it must not dominate your dish. As it's cooking, I'm now going to put in my garlic and my ginger. Again, wonderful medicinal properties, your garlic and your ginger. Here I have some ginger still on the stem and some of my garlics, which I have already cut up and chopped up. I've mixed my garlic and ginger. I've put in 2 spoons of garlic to 2 teaspoons of garlic to 1 teaspoon of ginger, and I have mixed it with the rolling pin so that it has this appearance here after it looks like that. There we go. Right, while that is beginning to braise, I get all my spices that I'm going to be using. I've got some turmeric for color again, but mainly for its medicinal properties again. This is really quite essential, and anti-inflammatory content, our turmeric. So I will put in a teaspoon of turmeric, just a bit more than that. And here I'm going to put in some roasted masala. I'd say about a heaped spoon. This again is according to taste. Some people don't like it very hot. I've made this quite mild by only using a teaspoon of curry powder. Now you want it to toast together. All the aromas filling the air. Absolutely lovely. Please make sure that when you make your curry and when you use your curry powders, that you actually allow it to fry and roast, so that there is absolutely nothing raw that is being used, and so that there isn't any strange aftertastes while you're making your curry. While you taste in your curry, I should say. Right. Now I'm going to add some tomato paste to this. You could add some tomato, fresh tomato if you'd like. But because I want a really smooth consistency without anything showing, I'm going to use my tomato paste. And my lentils. Over here, I have an entire packet of 500 grams of lentils. And in it goes. And now I'm going to add a little bit of water to ensure that nothing sticks. And move it along slightly. And some salt. I'd say about a teaspoon of beautiful sea salt. And now I'm going to start stirring it through. It is important that you make sure that you put enough liquid there so that it doesn't stick, because we don't have much oil in our pot and we don't want anything to stick and burn. Let's just mix that through. Then, as I'm mixing this through, let me mention that I'm now going to add some coconut cream to this dish. I would like all of it to cook together. It's no problem. It doesn't need any extra time or time later than this to cook. So I'm going to add some coconut cream to give it that luxurious flavor and creamy look. I've used about half a tin of coconut cream in there. I prefer to use the cream and not the coconut milk for this, because I really would like a creamier texture for this dish. Right. You don't need to stir your rice. Once it's been there and you've covered it and you've put it on low, just leave it for the next 20 minutes. Everything will absorb beautifully and you don't have to worry about that. Right, once this is mixed in together very nicely and it is almost cooked, I then move to my seeds. Now, you have an option with your seeds. When frying your seeds at the very beginning of of your curry. You could just leave your seeds like this and it will pop just like we did with the mustard seeds, and it will create all these lovely flavors. I like to roll my seeds. If I'm going to use it at the very beginning, I still like to roll it with the rolling pin, and just to get, I'll just do this for a moment so that you can see. I just roll it a little bit like that. And it grinds it slightly, and all of a sudden you get the flavor of the seeds. So what I have done is I have rolled together my coriander seeds, my fennel seeds, and my cumin seeds, otherwise known as jiru seeds. And I've created this type of powder. So, right towards the very end of my curry, this is when I put it in, because I really want those flavors to come alive. It's cooking very nicely. I would say you need about 15 to 20 minutes for this dish, for the flavors to really develop beautifully. Okay, now the great thing about this dish is that you can serve it as a curry as well as a soup. If you decide to serve it as a soup, then all you are going to do is, if you look at that consistency, you'll see that it's quite thick, because you want to be able to mop up all the juices in your curry. But if you're going to do it as a soup, you just have to add the rest of your coconut milk and add some water to that, and boom, then you have a lovely, delicious soup. You will add more water also, because you don't want it to be too spicy, especially because you won't have any rice to absorb with your curry, with your soup. So I'm going to put my spices in. And now I'm going to put my curry leaves in. Right at the end, it's almost like a lovely surprise. You think that you're done and you leave in your pot, and then all of a sudden, and now all of a sudden, you've got these extra flavors that have all evolved in the pot. It is ideal to cover your pot as it's cooking, so that all the flavors can develop, and so that nothing is actually saturated or evaporated out of the pot. All the liquid, we want as much liquid as possible. Right. I'm going to show you how to make a salad very quickly to accompany this dish. In here, I've got my onion, and I've already chopped up some green pepper and some pineapple, which I'm going to pop into my dish. It's just a pineapple salsa as an accompaniment, which could be quite tasty. And my onion. And I have chopped up some coriander already. I'm going to put that in there. Now, some of us actually put some green chili in there, but today I'm not going to do that. I'm going to add just a little bit of coconut sugar, because this is a much healthier sugar for you, with some of the lemon juice and a dribble of honey. While we're talking, let me just turn that off. Dribble of honey goes into my pot like that. Right. I'm going to take a drop of salt to go in there with my coconut sugar, my lemon juice, I'm going to mix that through. And slowly put that through. Coconut sugar is much healthier to use than our white sugar, as that is completely stripped of all its nutrients. So therefore I'm using some coconut sugar. You will find that you will probably need to use a bit more because it is not as sweet. Let me serve. Doesn't matter that I still have some coconut on my spoon. Alright, going to mix that through. And pop it in there. Don't worry about the cinnamon stick going into your curry or the star anise. It's actually lovely to suck on it because a lot of the flavors have now been released. And let me just add some coriander. My rice is ready. Do you see how the water has absorbed it? Look how lovely the curry leaves have come to the top, as well as the mustard seeds. Before you serve it, it's always best to fluff it up to ensure that you are only getting, that there are no lumps. And what an explosion of color. The mustard seeds together with the turmeric creates the lovely colors for this lemon rice. And I would then just add a drop more of your lemon juice, because it is meant to be lemony rice, and a little bit of my lemon rind to complete that dish. So here we have it. Just as I said, the cinnamon, very sweet cinnamony flavor on my stick. Most delicious. And I will take most delicious. The flavors of the spices together with my seeds right at the end, and the coconut cream has made my curry so delicious. With my lemon rice, it's an excellent accompaniment, making it not too sweet with a slight sourness of the lemon and the rice. And then of course my pineapple salsa just to offset it. Everyone, I hope that you will try this dish and let me know. And of course, don't make it too strong for those who can't handle it. Thank you. See you next time.